Last night was my third time taking class number 14, the double ankle sweep, aka the dummy sweep, and let me tell you what I learned. Being my third time taking this class, I feel like, and I said this in a previous video, it's not that I'm so much learning the move, I'm fine-tuning the moves. And last night I got to train with my partner Arthur. Arthur is freaking fantastic. He's a big guy like myself. And one thing I learned is when you have a bigger guy, bigger body, whatever, the moves change. The moves are different. You have to tweak things just a little bit. And I'm not saying that I change the technique. The technique is a technique, but how I apply the technique, how I cue myself for the technique, and how I remember the technique has to be just a little bit different for me as an ultra heavyweight than it would be as someone who's like a middleweight or a lightweight, okay? Let me tell you what I mean. When I go to do the guillotine choke, which is the other part of class number 14, it's the guillotine with the guard pull. I kept losing my grip or my control when I did the guillotine, right? My hands would come out. I can't demonstrate it because I'm holding my phone. But when I would go to wrap the neck and I would go to pull guard or, to get down, I would let go. And I let go for two reasons. Reason number one, I was really trying to respect my training partner. I didn't want to drop my ample freaking weight on his neck. So I would let go of the choke, and I would even let go of my left hand as well. So I didn't have both hands locked. And I didn't even realize what I was doing. Subconsciously, I was letting go of the move and then trying to get it back. And the trouble is, when you have someone in that position and they're on top of you, especially someone who is of size, you can't worm your hands back in there. I think any size you can't get your hands back in there because it's too late. Their body's already on top of you, the space has already been compromised, and there's nothing you can do to get your hands back in the right position. And so when Sam came over to watch me do the technique, he's like, "You're letting go before you even pull guard. Why?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And he's like, you're trying to be nice. You're trying to be a good training partner. So I had to remind myself to keep my hands locked. And then it tweaked just a little bit more because when I got to pulling guard, and my man Arthur, who's about my size, he was tapping out pretty quick because with the difference in body type, there is abso-freaking-lutely no space in that choking position. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to do two things. If you're a big guy, listen to this. If you pull guard, hands locked, do everything properly, you got to do two things. Number one, you got to be ready to let go instantly. And when I say get ready to let go instantly, your partner might not even have time to choke, or might not even have time to tap. So you got to be waiting, listening, and looking to make sure they're okay. Because that pressure, that tap, that choke comes on very freaking quickly in that position. That's the first thing. Be ready to let go pretty much freaking instantly. The second thing you got to do is you got to sit up. I might have said this in a previous video, but you have to sit up like the freaking Undertaker in the WWE. You got to sit up and let go to take the pressure off, to give you room and the flexibility to pull your arm out and to let the choke go. Because think about it, my hands are trapped underneath a sizable individual. So it's not just as easy as pulling my arm out and letting the pressure off. I have to sit up to release the gravity pressure and then let the choke off. So if you're training with the big guy, or if you're a big guy yourself and you do this move, the guillotine where you pull guard, the pull guard guillotine, once you get to the ground, be ready to let go instantly, and you have to sit up to really unwind the arm. Otherwise, you're both trapped and one guy's tapping, the other guy is freaking, choking and doesn't know what the hell's going on. So here's the third thing I'll tell you need to do. I said there are only two things, but I'm going to tell you thing number three. Thing number three that you have to do is, if you're the guy in the choke, so if you're the bad guy and you're the one being choked, you really have to tripod and post your freaking head on that mat. When I say tripod, you know what I mean. Face down, butt up. You know what I'm saying? You got to put your head down to the mat and put your butt up high to alleviate some of the pressure in the choke, to buy yourself an extra, let's say 3 or 4 seconds, because like I said, it comes on quick. And so when I would go down, if I wasn't head forward, on my toes, hips up, butt high, man, that choke came on quick. But putting my head to the mat and bringing my butt up high and getting up on my toes alleviated the pressure, toes maybe up on my feet, it alleviated the pressure quite a bit. And that was a pleasant, wonderful, happy, beneficial freaking response. And so that would be my tip for the big guys doing the guard pull variation of the guillotine choke. But then when we were doing the actual dummy sweep, the hook sweep, is that what they call it? Double ankle sweep, I'm sorry. The double ankle sweep. I've always called it the dummy sweep. When we're doing the double ankle sweep, if you do the knee variation, which is the first variation, the primary variation, as a big guy, sometimes your legs get intertwined and it's hard for you to sit up and do that ratcheting move around. You pick a side, right? Pick a side, your knees fall to the right and you come up to the right. That sounds easy unless you have a lot of mass and there isn't a lot of space. Like when I would pick a side and our legs are intertwined, I didn't really get to the side. I had to then get up and kind of get over. And I think you have to get over a bit too, but most people, the smaller guys I saw, and when Sam and Zach were demonstrating it, their knee would just kind of go to the ground and boom, they were set. But another tip I'll give, I don't know, I'm not the tip master, but I'll tell you what helped me, is when I would try to do that move, instead of just going my knees to the side, you really have to go knees to the side and then do like a pelvic thrust to get up and pull yourself up. There's a warm-up thing we used to do at my Keep Showing Up where we would do like a, you know, you have to like shoot and then pull your knees, your body through. I'll see if I can find a video to plug in here, but just imagine you're doing the most massive like hip thrust ever, like an Ace Ventura hip thrust. So you pull your knee to the side and you come up into an upright kind of hip thrusty position where you got to bring your hips forward to carry yourself over the body and around to the right position to the mount. Sounds tricky, and you know what? It was. Because when I do this with a smaller training partner, it's like, okay, ding, 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 I'm there. But with a bigger training partner, the legs are kind of confused, and it's more of a hurdle to get up and over their legs and to get into the mount position. So it was really an effort of more of like a, almost like standing up. Once I would pull my knees or put my knees to one side, I always went to the right. I would then have to like get up on my knees and thrust the body forward, bring the hips forward like a pelvic thrust, and then I could kind of go forward and around into the mount position. So that was tricky. I would say the thing that helped me the most, or the thing that was best, was the freaking kick variation. If you're a bigger guy, I know Sam was saying, if the guy's 6'7", whatever, I'm only 6'2", 6'3". So 6'2", 6'3", which is what me and Arthur are basically, that kick variation is the truth because it gives me more room to get away, to stand up, and to get over to side control and get control. When I do the knee variation, it's like the clunkiest wheel you ever saw to try to get to the mount. But when I do the kick variation, it's not that hard to get up in the technical stand-up, which is so much easier now because I'm losing some weight. So I got up into, you know, my technical stand-up, my getting up in base, and then go and get side control. So I'll take the kick variation any day of the week, twice on Sunday, over the knee variation when I'm fighting somebody my size. Because if you're my size, the legs are gonna get entangled, and it's an effort. It's a grand effort to come up and over the mountain of legs to get to the mount. So a lot of rambling, but those are my takeaways from my third time taking class number 14 last night. So what are your takeaways? Do you have any advice, tips, tricks, or anything you've experienced that you would share with somebody, whether they're a big guy or a small guy? Let me know in the comments. One of my homeboys in Colorado, he usually lets in some good comments. But yeah, I think that's it. Weigh-in Wednesdays tomorrow. I've been doing a lot in the weight loss world, working out. Just got back from the gym actually, so I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to add. I'm just focusing on one day at a time. I'm trying not to be too destination minded. If you follow me on Instagram, I said the journey is greater than the destination. So I'm trying not to be too destination focused. But of course, as I'm doing every class for a third time, I'm going to start my reflex development finally this Friday. I'm getting closer and closer to the goal. Not putting a timeline on it, just thinking about it and making sure I'm fine tuning. Because I think I know most of the moves, but I just have to remind myself and fine tune as I get closer and closer to the ultimate goal, which is testing and promotion. So I think that's it for now. If you have any questions, thoughts, feelings, opinions, let me know in the comments. Let me know on social media at Chris Learns Jiu-Jitsu. And that's all I got for class number 14. Hopefully it was entertaining. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I helped. If I did, great. If I didn't, tell me in the comments what you want me to talk about, because I'm more than happy to ramble on whatever it is you like. So stay focused, stay positive, stay vigilant. See you next time.